Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Listen and grow as Del questions the status quo, encourages you to think differently, and empowers you to make a better life. Get ready as Del challenges core beliefs, seeks the truth, and reveals the roadmap to the lifestyle you really want. And now your host, multi-millionaire, national award-winning investor, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, Del Walmsley.
Welcome to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. My name is Al Gordon. I'm proudly sitting in for Del, and the reason I'm doing it is because Del's on a bus right now. He is on a bus educating members of Lifestyles Unlimited and people that are considering becoming members of Lifestyles Unlimited, and he's doing so by driving from one multifamily property to another. It's the second day of the Multifamily Masters Road Trip, and it is going off without a hitch. We've got like 8 buses out there traveling all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area, taking our members and soon-to-be members to all of these communities where they will be educated. They will learn how to invest correctly in multifamily assets. They'll have the ability to walk through the finished products. They'll have the opportunity to walk through products that are in progress of being finished. They're going to have the owners of these assets run them through all the financials. They're going to tell them what it costs to buy the asset, what it costs to remediate the asset, what it costs to put long-term financing in place. As a matter of fact, they're going to open the books and they're going to share the rates of return. In other words, how much money they're actually making on these assets. So why would you want to know this stuff? Because it is part of your education. It is part of what makes you a real estate investor. Knowledge is power. And that's part of the reason we offer the Multifamily Masters Road Trip in conjunction with our Expo event, which is going on right now. Today is the first day, literally, of Expo. Now, technically, it kicked off yesterday because we did day 1 of the Multifamily Masters Road Trip, and that was a smashing success. And today we're on day 2. So we're taking people to all the other multifamily properties that they didn't get to see on day 1. And I will tell you, when these people come back later on today and they get off that bus, they are going to be elated. Not because they got off of a bus, but because their minds were filled with so much information that it will benefit them as real estate investors. Now, I told you the Multifamily Masters Road Trip, it's in the past. It's done. You can't attend. You can't. Because today is Thursday. Today is the last day of the Multifamily Masters Road Trip. By the time you're hearing my voice, that road trip, it's already at least halfway over. And the people are getting ready to come back to the Irving Convention Center, and we're going to do something called a debrief. In other words, everybody that went on the Multifamily Masters Road Trip will assemble in our grand ballroom, and Del will debrief all of the properties that everybody went to over the last 2 days. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, I can't begin to describe the power of the knowledge that will be transacted in that seminar. I'm going to go be a fly on the wall. I'm going to get done doing Del's show, and I'm going to go down to that ballroom, and I'm just going to be a fly on the wall listening to the information, because I will tell you, the information that comes out of Del's mouth will be sage information that you need to hear in order to become an exclusively exceptional real estate investor. Yeah, I was trying to come up with some adjectives to use, but that was the best I could do. Let's get into the expo. Now, today is the kickoff event. At 4 o'clock today, for those of you that have never been to an expo event, we're going to have the How to Expo class. What's that? A How to Expo class. Well, the How to Expo class is exactly it. It's a How to Expo. How to do it. How to eat this elephant one bite at a time. Because I will tell you, when you walk into our expo event, you're going to be inundated. You're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to have everything real estate investing related coming at you all at the same time. You're going to have education coming at you. You're going to have vendors coming at you. Not like they're going to chase you down or anything. But the point I'm trying to make is that we've assembled so many different elements this year at our Expo event that this is going to be the best event that we've had ever. And I will tell you, last year's was the best event ever. So if we're going to do better than last year, we really got to raise the bar. And you know what? Dell has raised the bar. He has really raised the bar. So for those of you that are thinking about coming down to Expo, you can still get here. There are still flights from the West Coast that will get you here today. It might even get you here in time. Well, probably not in time for the How to Expo class. So I'll tell you what, let's do this. Since some of you are considering traveling today, and you may not get here until tonight, I realize there's some things you have to do. First thing you have to do is text the word free to 88007. Yeah, text the word free to 88007. What that's going to do is that's going to give you free tickets to the Expo. I don't want there to be any barriers to you attending the Expo event. We're going to give you complimentary entrance to the Expo event. Now, some of you may want to take advantage of what we call the Platinum package. Now, the Platinum package is offers you different networking events. It may or may not be the right package for you as a brand new person. Does that make sense? Now, if you know that you want to become a Lifestyles Unlimited member, and you know in your heart that all you got to do is get to the Irving Convention Center where I am at right now and be a part of what we're doing, then maybe the Platinum package is the way for you to go. Maybe purchasing that Platinum package is a good idea for you. But for the majority of you out there, all you really need are free tickets to get into the Expo. So text the word free to 88007. Again, free to 88007. And let's get you entrance to the event. Let's make it so it doesn't cost you anything to walk in the doors. Now, what is going to cost you? Well, airline tickets or gas. Yeah, because you've got to get here. I am at the Irving Convention Center at Las Colinas. We're literally halfway in between Dallas-Fort Worth International and Love Field. So those of you flying in from across the country, you can get an Uber and come right to us. Not a problem. Those of you driving in, plenty of free parking available to you, either at your hotel or, let's talk about your hotel. You've got to get a hotel room, right? Okay. So airline tickets. Airline tickets, I did a search and I was finding flights. I mean, you can get a flight round trip from the Bay Area of California for like $200 round trip per person. That's pretty dirt cheap. Now, I didn't check other locations in the United States. I mean, you know where you live and you know how to get airline tickets cheap. So check it out. Find out what it's going to cost to get those airline tickets. The other thing I need you to do, you got to have a place to stay. Now, we used to have a block of rooms available to you at a couple of hotels, but man, those sold out like months ago. And we tried to get additional room blocks, but we were unable to get them. But this is what I do know. I do know that the hotels that are adjacent to the Irving Convention Center, Las Colinas, have availability. And I do know that you can get rooms for about $100 per night. Now, why do I know this? Because I went on my favorite app that looks things like that up, and that's what I found. They're out there. So you're probably looking at, if you fly in tonight, so today's Thursday, right? So you fly in today, you need a room for tonight, that's Thursday. You need a room for Friday, and you need a room for Saturday because you're going to fly home on Sunday. So right there, we're talking literally maybe $500 to get to the Expo event because we've thrown in the tickets for free. I think it's cheap. Now, really nothing kicks off until 4 o'clock this afternoon. So even if you're like in San Antonio, Texas, and you've got a 5-hour drive, you can still get here today. You can still check into your hotel room. You can still be a part of what we're doing because all of the major education is going to kick off tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So you just got to get here today. And I'm going to take one barrier out of your way. I want you to text the word free to 88007. Again, the word free to 88007, because what I'm going to give you is free tickets to attend the event. I don't want there to be a cost barrier for you to attend. I want you to get here. If there is a cost barrier, the only cost barrier should be the cost of transportation, lodging, and food, which if you decide to build a real estate investing business could potentially become a tax write-off. Yeah, now I am not a tax professional. I don't play one on the radio, but we're going to have tax professionals that are part of our vendor program instructing you at the expo. Now, one of the classes that we're going to offer is something called Why is Everything Related to Taxes So Darn Hard? Now, this class is designed for everybody attending expo. Now, we've broken up expo into different tracks. We have. So there's a multifamily track, there's a passive investor track, there's a beginner track, which might be the track that you need to take, and then there's a single family track. This particular class is designed for any particular track. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about on the rest of the show, is I'm going to give you some of the classes that are available to you that regardless of what track that you take, this could be some great information for you to garner. Now, in this class, this is what they're going to talk about. First, there was QuickBooks. Then came Google. Now we have AI and Chat GPT. Shouldn't the world of tax and business be simpler now? Right? More than half of all businesses fail in the first 4 or 5 years. After a decade, over 70% have failed. I have covered this on my radio show, and I know Del has covered it on his radio show. So what do? When we come back from the break, I'm going to give you the solution. Stick around.
Teaching you with a roadmap to creating the lifestyle you really want. Keep listening. The Del Walmsley Radio Show returns in moments.
Del Walmsley interviews Chad and Lisa.
This property, for you to have done what you've done, won the award, changed it around, done all the re-up, has got to be worth a lot more.
We purchased it for $8.275, and it's worth $19 million now. So.
Wait, whoa. That is incredible. I can see why you won an award, and that's great.
Lifestyles Unlimited. Over 33 years teaching the real estate retirement roadmap. Text the word radio to 88007 for a $297 membership. Save $443 off the regular price. Text radio to 88007.
You're hearing the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Want more life-changing knowledge? Access our podcast and listen on demand at lifestylesunlimited.com under the radio tab. Now your host, Del Walmsley.
Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. My name is Al Gordon. I'm proudly sitting in for Del, who is on a bus. Now, I don't know where that bus is, but I do know that bus is either parked in front of a multifamily apartment community or it's on its way to one. Because what's going on right now as part of our expo event is the Multifamily Masters Road Trip. Now, can you attend that? And the short answer is no. It's too late. Unless you're already on the bus, I can't get you on the bus. I can't get you to the Irving Convention Center at Los Colinas and get you on a bus in time because the buses have already left. By the time you get here, the buses will have already returned back to the convention center, and we will have done the debrief. What's the debrief? The debrief is where Del talks about each and every apartment community that everybody toured. They talk about the good, they talk about the bad, they talk about the ugly. And the reason they do that is to come at the properties from a different lens because we're trying to learn from what we're seeing. Now, we have seen all kinds of different multifamily assets, and they're all different. So the get-together, the debrief, if you will, is an opportunity for education to really just go on steroids. Another way to describe it. It's like an education on steroids. And I think it's going on right now. Yeah, I think it's actually going on right now. So what does that mean? What does that mean for those of you sitting at home listening to my voice or maybe driving around in your car going, well, the expo, maybe I could go, maybe I shouldn't go. I don't know. What should I do? All right, here's what you should do. Get here. Yeah, I'm serious. Get here. Call in sick. You've done it before. Call him with code if you have to. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't suggest that you do unethical things, but you need to figure out a way to get here. So if you've got vacation days, use them. Get here to the Irving Convention Center. Text the word free to 88007. Let's get you free tickets to get you in, and let's get you started with your education tomorrow at 8 a.m. because that's when all the education kicks off. Now, we do have some classes going on tonight, so depending on when you get here, you may or may not be able to enjoy those classes. But I will tell you, the real meat and potatoes is going to kick off tomorrow. Now, there's a class that I think everybody should attend, and it's being offered by one of our Lifestyles Unlimited vendors that's providing hosting support for the expo. It's Nate Roberts with Lifetime Tax Advisors, and here's the class that he's talking about. Why is everything related to taxes so darn hard? Why is it so hard? First there was QuickBooks, then we had Google, then we had AI, then we had ChatGPT. Wouldn't you think by now that the world of taxes and businesses, that they'd be simpler? I mean, wouldn't that make sense? But here's the point that Nate's going to point out. More than half of businesses fail in the first 4 or 5 years. We don't want that for you as a Lifestyles Unlimited member. We don't want you failing in the first 4 or 5 years. So we're going to talk to you about why that happens. The other thing that Nate is going to address is that after a decade, in other words, 10 years of being in business, over 70% of those firms fail. So how do you prevent that? With rising inflation, rate caps, tighter margins, lots of competition, what Nate's going to do is he's going to teach you how to identify business threats, and he's going to help you beat the odds. Now that to me is a class for not only a real estate investor, but anything that you do. Maybe you're self-employed. Maybe that class could actually help your self-employment business and get your business back on track. Kind of interesting, right? Well, that class kicks off at 8 o'clock on Friday. Then at 9:30, there's going to be another class, and this is another class for anybody. I don't care if you're in the multifamily track. I don't care if you're in the passive investor track. I don't care if you're in the beginner investor track. I don't care if you're in the single family investor track. This class is for all tracks. What's it about? It's called Cover Your Assets. Yeah, I said assets. You heard me correctly. Tactics for avoiding financial ruin. Doesn't that sound like a good class to attend? Especially since we just talked about the last class that Nate is offering. Now, this particular class is being offered by Dodson Legal, Lifetime Tax Advisors, Capital Concepts, and Ramey King Insurance. All 4 of those entities are going to be available. I believe it's going to be a panel, and they're going to talk about covering your assets. They're going to talk about investors of all types, whether you're a single-family investor, whether you're a multifamily investor, whether you're an independent rental operator, whether you're a syndicator, whether you're a passive investor in multifamily deals. You need to know about asset protection. Longtime Lifestyles vendors Richard Robinette from Dobson Legal Group, Nate Roberts from Lifetime Tax Advisors, Carrie Donham from Capital Concepts, and Jeff King from Ramey King Insurance present a deep dive into the tools you need to limit liability, reduce taxes, properly leverage your deals, and protect your investments in a litigious world. Yes, this is a great class. Why do I know this is a great class? Because I have attended this class in the past. I have. I attended this class 3 years ago at an expo event. And I will tell you, my takeaway from this class was amazing. Now, I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of what my takeaways were, because your takeaways are going to be your takeaways. And I don't want to put my takeaways into your mind thinking that that's the takeaway you need to have. The takeaway that you need to have is the takeaway that you need to have. That's what I'm getting at. All right, what other classes? There's some other great classes out there that are for any investor. any investor out there. Now, this particular class, this is a class that we as the Lifestyles Unlimited community have been asking for a long time. I remember when I became a member in 2017, this was one of the major topics that was being discussed by Lifestyles Unlimited, by Del Walmsley, based on needs of our members. Yeah, did you know that Lifestyles Unlimited actually goes out and solves problems based on the needs of our members? Yeah, it's true. Here's why. We exist for our members. Now, I was talking to you about earlier these businesses that fail in 4 to 5 years or after 10 years. Lifestyles Unlimited has been around for 34 years. We have beaten that statistic. We're pretty good at what we do. And the reason we're pretty good at what we do is because we focus on you. We focus on what you need, what your needs are, what your objectives are. How can we support you in your real estate investing business? Well, one way we can support you is by bringing in Dodson Legal Group and Jasmine Dodson, because Jasmine is going to talk about a class. They're going to have a class, and this class is going to happen on Saturday. It's called Estate Planning Strategies for Real Estate Investors. Notice that it says Estate Planning Strategies for Real Estate Investors. We as real estate investors, we have very specific needs. Very specific needs when it comes to estate planning. We have to understand what all the laws are out there. And Dodson Legal provides a pathway. In this class, you're going to learn about the fundamentals of estate planning and how the various documents and strategies can help avoid probate and protect your assets for the benefit of your loved ones. This entire event is really designed with the word fun in mind, because everything that we do is fun. Even the educational stuff is fun. How can I make that claim? Because we actually have a class entitled LLCs for Fun and Profit. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's got fun in the title, right? Now get this. This class is being taught by Richard Robinette from Dodson Legal. So he's an attorney. And Nate Roberts from Lifetime Tax. He's not an attorney, but he's a tax guy. So now you've got an attorney and you have a tax guy talking about LLCs for fun and profit. So why would you attend this class? Touted for their strong asset protection, flexible taxation, and informal structure, limited liability companies are one of the most popular and misunderstood business entities available. Richard Robinette from Dodson Legal Group and Nate Roberts from Lifetime Tax Advisors will take you over, under, around, and through the wild world of limited liability companies. What are the pros? What are the cons of using an LLC? Should passive or single-family investors use LLCs? How can I use an LLC to reduce my taxes? Should I form a Wyoming LLC for anonymity? How does the Corporate Transparency Act affect me? Come find out how an LLC might or might not fit into your real estate investing business. Now, this is going to be a great class because many of you have been told that if you're going to buy single-family assets, you need to have an LLC for protection. These guys are going to talk about that in this class. Why do I know this? Because I've got some insider information as to what they're going to talk about, and they're going to talk about that. And should they forget to talk about that, then you're going to be in the classroom and you're going to raise your hand and you're going to say, hey, what about forming an LLC for single-family assets? And you know what? They're going to answer your questions because they have the knowledge. What other classes are out there? I mean, who else is Del Walmsley bringing into the expo to educate and inform you? Well, we're bringing in what I would consider a powerhouse. We are. They're part of our vendor program. It's CBRE, and we're bringing in Jim Kirkpatrick, and we're going to have him on stage with one of our Lifestyles Unlimited mentors, Scott Van Nostrum. And what they're going to do is they're going to talk about a topic that you want to hear about. The topic is 10 multifamily property hotspots for 2024. What they're going to do is they're going to give a 2024 market update. They're going to talk about where we are in the current market, and then they're going to discuss 10 real estate hotspots that are in existence right now. 10 places where it would make the most sense for you to invest your money. What kind of places would that be? Places that would give you good returns on investment, places that are landlord friendly. These guys have all the stats. They have gone through all the stats. They've done all the machination, and they're going to present to you information that you can absolutely use. I mean, this is the good stuff that we bring out as part of the Expo event. Some of you are going to follow the single family track, and that's totally fine. I get that, because some of you can't wrap your head around the multifamily investments yet, because you don't think that people like you can own multifamily assets. And here's the thing. When you get to Expo, you're going to meet a bunch of people that own multifamily assets. I happen to be one of those people. Del Walmsley, the guy that usually does this radio show, he happens to be one of those people. We are not special. We are not exceptional people. We put on our pants one leg at a time, just like you do. You too can own multifamily assets. But many of you believe that the place to start is in single family. And you know what? I'm not going to tell you no, because that may be the exact place you need to start. That might be the avenue that gives you the right rates of returns, that gives you the right amount of control so that you can build your real estate investing business. So what kind of classes do we have for somebody like you that's looking to do single family investment? Well, how about this class taught by Kim Sporich from Lifestyles Finance? It's entitled Understanding Today's Underwriting Guidelines for Single-Family Properties. What does that mean? Well, it means you're going to learn the ins and outs of underwriting processes for all the different types of loans available to investors, whether you're a W-2 employed person, whether you're self-employed, or, like me, you're retired. They're going to discuss loan options for your first investment property and or up to multiple properties. So what Kim's going to do is she's going to explain to you that no matter what your employment history is or used to be, there are loan products out there available to you. She's going to break it all down. She's going to break it all down, and she's going to share with you information you need to know. What about this class? This is a class that we offer every year. This is a class that we have offered since I've been a member of Lifestyles Unlimited. It's called How to Finance 10 Homes in 10 Months, Regardless of Your Personal Income. It's going to be offered by AMP Lending. Rich Nunez and Toby LaBouffe are going to provide this class, and I will tell you, it breaks down all the barriers to getting you into your first 10 homes, and you don't even think you can do it. Hey, if you want to do what I'm doing, you want to do what the 50,000 members of Lifestyles Unlimited are doing, you want to get to the Expo, text FREE to 88007.
The information and opinions you hear on the Del Walmsley radio show are those of the host, Del Walmsley, his guests, and his callers. The Del Walmsley show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Del Walmsley show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.